Hi everyone, this is Karen from Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. And today we are with Father Loreto Jaque. He's a missionary of the art. He's joining us from Peru. And we're going to talk about dancing the hero's journey. This is a workshop I've personally attended. It took us like 4 weeks to 5 weeks to finish it. And this is really interesting. I hope you stay tuned for this conversation. So I'll pull up Father Loreto. Hi, Father. Welcome to Creating Space.
Hi. Good evening. Good
Oh,
evening. Good
good
evening to
evening.
all.
Yes, thank you for joining us again for
Thank you
this
for inviting me.
another. Yeah, I was telling you
Again, your show.
earlier. Opo, I was telling you earlier, kayo yung pinaka-difficult difficult interview I've had. Because I was trying to interpret kasi you answer me in poetry. And and then sometimes I don't understand what it means. And I was like trying to figure out I was trying to figure out what it means. And then yesterday, during your workshop, you're saying you don't have to interpret art or music. You just have to feel it or you just have to express it. So yeah. So now I'm more comfortable because I don't have to interpret art also. Also, Father, I'd
That's
like
good.
to apologize. So thank you. Also, I'd like to apologize because the first time I interviewed you, I remembered I was so rigid. Like I was asking you questions about darkness. And because at that time also, I was coming to terms with my own darkness and I didn't like it. So I was pressing you for answers because I want you to give me an answer, a concrete answer that will make me calm down. And then, but when I went through your workshop, I've gone through your workshop. I think that was 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's only then that I realized na, you don't give answers pala talaga. You allow people to explore the answers for themselves. You give them space to find the answers, but you don't dictate the answers to them. It's really your process, Father.
Yes. Helping them to ask more questions and just be
Yeah.
comfortable with not knowing. That's a gift. To not
Wow.
know, to not understand. The
Right.
Western consciousness will always dictate us to know. You need to understand. You need to know everything. But in my workshops, no.
Yes.
We can only
And
honor them,
honor the unknown and
honor
also
the
honor
unknown
the dark.
mysteries of
Father, that
life.
might yeah, we'll go there. We'll go through the hero. We'll go there later, ladies and gentlemen, about honoring the unknown. So, a lot of people are here now. But I think you guys have to grant access to StreamYard so because it only says Facebook user. But thank you everyone for joining us. Father Hacker, we're going to talk about the hero's journey today this evening here in the Philippines and it's morning in Peru.
In Peru,
Yes. What is the hero's journey? I understand this is from Joseph Campbell, no, Father. And what is Joseph Campbell's premise in
okay,
this hero's journey?
okay. Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to honor this space by lighting a candle. I always see spaces like this as sacred, and
That's right.
so, yep. Thank you for inviting me once again in in your space. Again, I see this as a privilege to talk about the mysteries of life, mythology, the expressive arts, the things that I'm doing for more than 13, 14 years now. Um, the premise of the whole hero's journey can be summarized by the following questions. Are you living a meaningful life right now? What is the deepest life that you are called to? And how can you respond to that call? Personally, I believe, following Joseph Campbell's idea of the hero's journey, that if you have not found your sacred calling, then probably you are still living a small life, a small and boring life, a life of misery, feeling lost, confused, depressed, etc. So the whole hero's journey is a type of awakening, a type of opening to what life is bringing you and what life is calling you. So there's so much more to you than who you are right now. You are mysterious, magical, enchanting. You hold within you this sacred gift that you can offer to the world, even if many times in your life you feel insignificant in this great scheme of things. So the whole hero's journey is awakening to all that.
Mhm. Father, that's so beautiful when you talk about you hold within you sacredness, the gift to offer the world. It's it just touches the heart. And I under and also for everybody who's going through something at this point, Father will also talk to you about that. That sometimes you have to go through certain things. And it's part of the journey. Father, but what's the role of dance and art in one's journey?
Oh, well, the whole hero's journey is about surrendering, trusting the unknown, trusting the dark, being comfortable with the deep mysteries of life. And as I've said many, many times in my workshops, I am very careful not to eliminate this darkness that's troubling you, but I can equip you, no? I can give you certain tools to be able to use once you are in the dark, honoring the dark. I would prefer than eliminating the dark. And poetic language, expressive arts, creativity, imagination, they are suited in the dark. We need to have another lens, another eyeglasses, types of eyeglasses once we are in the dark.
Right.
Beauty, imagination, creativity, the arts, dancing, poetry, storytelling, they help us navigate in the dark.
That's why it's these are essential, the arts. And also, Father, I noticed when you allow us to dance in your bio dances session, before I stepped into that, I thought it's very sacred. And I thought you'll just play very soulful music, very quiet music. And then I go in your dance class and you're playing Voltes 5 songs, and you're playing Blackpink music, and you're playing hip hop music. So there's really how do you say it? When I look at it, it's very, very inclusive. And then there's no separation between the sacred and pop culture.
Yeah, I agree to that. But in a real biodanza session, you don't use that. You don't use those music, those songs, no?
Yeah.
I know that people love to dance, Filipino especially
Yes.
when we know the songs, no? When
Yes.
we are familiar with the songs. Normally, sa isang biodanza session, we use scary music. I remember a participant who told me, your music is so scary, no lyrics, and like, wow. But okay, let's change that. Let's change that. So, in my workshops, I've been starting to introduce pop music.
Yes. I'm
So,
actually surprised that we're
because the
doing hip
idea
hop.
is just to move, the idea is just to move and
Yes.
just follow your
Yes.
body.
And Father, I actually enjoy it when you're playing the Japanese music, the Voltes 5, all this Japanese music because it brought me to my childhood. And I actually enjoy dancing more because of the music. And yeah, you're right. It's not scary at all. Initially, I was
Yeah.
scared, but when you introduce all sorts of music, something that I'm familiar with, I'm not scared anymore.
The thing is, we are in a Zoom meeting, so I really cannot help people if they don't want to dance. But when we are in a like live session, one on one, or in a group, I have to use the music that bio dance teachers use.
Oh,
Mhm.
what? Pero Father, you've veered away from biodanza, right? Because you said in
Yeah.
biodanza, they don't believe in darkness. It's just all about beauty.
Yes. Beauty, happiness, smile, oh, everything, no? The positive things. But since I am also influenced by James Hillman, who's into disintegration, death, so I'm trying to combine the two.
Right. So what do you call it now? If it's not like it's not really biodanza, and you've actually developed your own.
Yes, because of my background in play therapy and in the expressive arts, so dancing imagination. I consider
Ah,
my work as a form of meditation, aesthetic meditation, to cultivate the imagination.
oh, it's dancing imagination. And I love it that you honor darkness. But Father, with the hero's journey, you talk about 12 steps and the hero's journey when we were doing the workshop. I'm not, well, we don't have time. Definitely we don't have time to go through it. But basically, briefly, if we can go through the journey so people will be enlightened, because what I notice is sometimes we tend to just focus on the reward, or sometimes people tend to not mind the the shadow or the process of the journey. But when you talk about their journey, then I was able to appreciate the trials and the challenges. And when I saw it, you talk about three stages. First, the hero begins in his world, and it's like nothing special in a non-special world, or an ordinary world. And then the hero goes into this world of an unknown, which is the special world, and then he goes back to the ordinary world. Can we do this part by part, Father?
Okay, sure.
How when Yeah, because you talk about the calling, and you talk about you wanted people um to say yes to their calling. How will they know that there's actually a calling?
Oh, okay. The whole hero's journey is divided into three stages. No? Separation from the ordinary world, initiation, and reincorporation or return of the hero. The first stage is separation. Every hero should start from his ordinary world, the normal world, his safe place, his comfort zone, before he is called. Yes, why should he start there? Because that's his world. But the thing is, it has become a world that has become a spiritual wasteland. Wasteland is like living death, spiritual death, no life, no passion, no vitality, no living meaning, no living myth. And our present culture is like that. Our present culture impresses us inauthentic ways of living. Like, look, when you go outside your house, everything is just defined by economics. I am because I can buy this. I am because I have this. I am because I have more. No. And that's if that's the case, or in that case, we have become too alienated now from the life within. We have become too alienated now from the life of the soul to who we really are. So for Joseph Campbell, the hero has to separate from this wasteland, from this spiritual dryness, wasteland, living death, and be able to reflect once again, who am I? Why am I here in this world? What's my mission? And that is the reason why he has to go through the following phases of the three stages of the hero's journey. So separation is essential, separation from the ordinary world for his transformation.
Okay, so the first part is separation from the world. And like you said, right now it's a very materialistic world. We're defined by what we have, we're defined by who we are with. So very, very, very materialistic.
That is
So
why for Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey, especially the call to adventure, is a spiritual awakening
and
to all
sometimes,
this.
Father, yeah, you sometimes the call is not like a very spiritual call. You mentioned before that sometimes it can be a blunder,
Yeah.
or it can be an accident. It's not
A
like,
problem, wounding, failure.
yeah.
death.
Right. And what happens if the hero decides not to answer the call? Because it's
Again,
easier to live in the material world.
yes. For Joseph Campbell, that is also very heroic. It's not easy to say yes to life. Many people are afraid to say yes to life. And he calls that as the dull case of the call and answered. And for him, there are several reasons why people are afraid to live their lives a soulful life, like rationalization. No? The call is irrational, it's impossible. It seems crazy from the standpoint of common sense. Second is emotional sensitivity. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt my family. I don't want to upset my parents. So better not to follow this longing inside me. Especially that Christianity has deeply ingrained in us, no? This moral emphasis on others, love others, for others, for others. So I might as well sacrifice this passion, this creativity, this longing that I have because I don't want to hurt others. But hey, look, Jesus even said, I did not come to bring peace, but division.
Yes.
The third
So
can be fear of the unknown. No? He said, fear of the unknown. What will happen to me if I leave this job, this toxic relationship?
right, right.
So I might as well stay.
Right.
Conflict.
Somebody saying, Father, I relate to this. Even I am afraid to live life fully. There's a lot of fear.
So the hero's journey is about making choices between a small life or a magical and enchanting life. It's your
I love
choice.
the magical and enchanting life. But if the hero says yes to a magical and enchanting life, what happens?
Then he has to surrender to the known, to surrender to the dark, to surrender to life's mysteries. And to be able to surrender, he needs to trust his soul. As I've said
Wow.
in our workshop, two things are very important once the hero surrenders: fear and faith. You need to
Fear.
be afraid of the unknown, of the dark, but that's very soulful. Don't take fear away from you. It is your guide in the dark, but with
Yeah.
faith, fear and faith.
You told me that. You said last time I talked to you, you said follow your fear. And I until now I still don't understand it. And then and then I went to this other therapist, and then we went through a process of healing. And that's exactly what we did. We started by following my fear. Where is it starting? And then over time I realized that the fear is an entry point to what I'm supposed to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have understood my process if I
Exactly,
didn't start with the fear.
exactly. Fear
That's
is a
it.
door, it is an
Yeah.
opening, it is not an enemy, it's a
Right.
door to your soul.
Yes. But we're not taught kasi, Father, that fear is a door. Actually, in a lot of Western literature, fear they show fear as a dragon that you have to slay or a monster that you have to fight. They
Because
don't ask us to befriend it.
because we don't have mythology anymore. Look at our subjects in school. Oh, science, technology, data, knowledge, information. There's no sense of mystery. Mythologies. Mythologies will always teach us about the mysteries of life, the
Right.
darkness in life.
And Father, the second part of the journey, when the hero enters the unknown world, when he or she decides to follow that call, a lot of things happen, right? And this is when the
Yep,
adventure begins.
yep,
And this is when you say the mystery and the enchantment and the magic happens.
yeah.
What's in store for the hero for the second part?
After surrendering or
After surrendering.
trusting in the dark, trusting in the mysteries of life, then the initiation stage happens. The first stage is the supernatural aid. Once you begin to trust in the unknown, in the dark, in the deep secrets of the universe, then the universe will give you people to, to make you remember of your gift. That the universe is conspiring, is happy with your decision, but only when you begin to trust. So the universe will make you remember that, hey, it's okay, it's okay. You have left everything, your family, your friends, your old lifestyle. But that's the point of the hero's journey. Death to all your previous this comfort zones, no? Things you've held as true and valuable. Then you begin to realize that you are powerful, that inside you is this gift. It can be grace or whatever, but you will realize that once you begin to surrender. And in
So
mythology,
surrender.
this is symbolized by the appearance of the gods and goddesses giving the hero amulets or weapons for their journey.
That's why you have to have faith, because you
You have to
have
have
the
faith,
faith will allow you.
fear and faith, fear and
Right.
faith.
Fear is a door, and faith, when you surrender to it, then your mentors and you're saying your allies appear.
Because yeah, what's the point of surrendering if you are not afraid of the unknown? If you are so
Yeah.
sure of what will happen, if you only have faith, I'm so sure of what will happen in my life. What's the value of surrendering to the darkness? You need to be afraid. You need to
Right.
be afraid.
So it's okay to be afraid. Okay.
Soulful indeed.
Soulfully afraid.
It's
But
very,
also, you also talk about the hero approaching the inmost cave or belly of the whale, which is also part of the second part of the dream.
the belly of the whale for Joseph Campbell represents the whole darkness that will eat you up, that will engulf you. Whale because of the sea. No? Sea for
Yeah.
Campbell is the unconscious. It represents the unconscious. Going into the deep, going into the dark. And we see that in the stories of in the Bible, no? Like Daniel in the lion's den, Jesus when he died, Jonah being swallowed by a big whale. It's there in mythology. The princess entering this dark cave, leaving her ordinary world, the palace.
And you said earlier when we are talking that we should honor the darkness. Honor, you said earlier,
Yeah,
Father, that we should honor this
honoring the
darkness.
darkness. Yes,
Because
yes.
the tendency is to actually escape this darkness or run away from
Escape,
it.
fight, because we prefer the light. I don't have problems of people preferring the light, resurrection, salvation immediately.
Yes.
But we will always lose the soulfulness of death, of darkness, of decay. And they are part of life. We
Yeah.
cannot be choosy in life. I always say this. We cannot be choosy in life. Honor the gardens and graveyards of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something interesting you said. Like yesterday during the workshop, you mentioned that a lot of people with depression, anxiety, suffering come to you, and you're very, very careful not to give them answers or not to very, very
Take away
careful
their
with them.
depression.
Oh, there, not to heal them. You said you don't heal them. You don't take away the darkness.
Yeah, because again, if I'll relate that with the hero's journey, what is most important in the hero's journey is the art of being lost. I want you to be lost first. Experience death, being lost, being depressed, not knowing who you are. That's a good sign for me. Welcome to this enchanting and magical life. And I don't have any right to take that away from you. Life is initiating you. Be
Mm,
lost. But I can give you some tools, imagination, creativity while you are in the dark.
in the dark. Is there a gift that the darkness brings, or darkness itself is the gift?
No, the point of Joseph Campbell is not to find anything in the darkness, but how you are now connected with the dark. If that is our mindset, that I'll go to the dark to find something, you will be
Yeah.
also frustrated. But
Yeah.
what happens to you when you are in darkness? That's the greatest gift that this darkness can give you.
What happens to you
What
in the
happens to you
dark?
when you are in the dark? So it's not so much of finding something in the dark. Again, that's very masculine
Western.
consciousness, Western
Yes.
consciousness. I need to find meaning. I need to find the interpretation of this to understand life. No.
Right,
But
right,
how are you now connected to this darkness?
right.
So surrender fully to being lost. And it's an art.
Wow. Wow.
Enjoy being lost.
Surrender fully to being lost and enjoy being lost. I wish everybody who has depression or anxiety or suffering can hear us right now. Surrender fully to being
Yeah.
lost and honoring the darkness. Father, the latest statistics now is here in the Philippines, according to the SWS survey, 86% of Filipinos are stressed. So, and scientists, I was talking to some scientists a few weeks back, and they were like, "Oh no, a lot of Filipino are stressed." And now I'm talking to you, and you're saying, "Oh yes, this is good," because this is where the initiation begins. This is the
That's
journey.
true. Being
Yeah,
stressed is a calling to go back to who you are.
right, right.
As, as
That's
I've
true.
as I've said in our workshop, a wonder, no, become a wonder in life. Be contented in not knowing, in not arriving, in not understanding, in not knowing everything. And to be a wanderer means four important things. No, first you have to be lost. You have to be lost in life, totally
Mm,
lost, psychologically lost, emotionally lost. That's a door. That's a sacred calling to your soul. And second, you
right,
must accept that you are lost. Don't pretend that I'm okay, I'm fine, I'll be okay
mm,
after crying, dancing, and singing. La, move on. No, no. Accept that.
mm,
And
right,
second, you need to have survival skills while being
right.
lost, while
Well being
wandering.
lost.
And that's where the arts come.
Yeah.
And fourth, which is the most important part when you are lost, when you are in the dark, practice non attachment to any particular result of being lost. Like the need to be immediately saved, the need to be immediately rescued by my Prince Charming. Nobody will come to rescue you. You need to accept that. You just have to trust your
Right.
intuition, your soul.
Yeah. And what I realize is it's very important that someone will not rescue you because that's when the power comes. Well, that's what I realized because when I was lost, I was looking for somebody to help me and was thinking, please, somebody, please help me. But then when no help came, that's when I was able to rely on my power. And that's when all of that's also when I was able to tap into the inner resources. So I was thinking, so it's really part of the journey that no one's going to rescue you.
To be able to realize that you are more than enough. You already have what you need inside you. But we depend so much on people, on authority, on this and that because why? We don't realize that I am capable.
Right,
That is
right,
why life will always allow you to cry, to feel pain when everybody leaves you, when everything
right,
crumbles, because then you get to remember that you are enough. You don't lack anything. Everything is
right.
inside you in your soul. Listen to your soul. Befriend the
And all
dark.
right. And it's just now that I realize that when you face the dark, that's when you realize that the world is a wasteland. Because if you're so happy and you're so content in your world, then you will not question. Then you will not
No,
go into spirituality. You'll just be happy in your own little world.
because life is
And
just
then,
about making money and constructing
right,
your beautiful, happy, positive life.
right, right. Okay, now I'm appreciating. I'm appreciating darkness. But also, Father, aside from the darkness, the hero also has to face certain ordeals and a lot of challenges. And you also mentioned that sometimes it's a matter of life and death.
Yep, the dragons, the monsters that he has to
Yeah,
face. Yes. That's why he is called a hero. It's not for all. You
right,
need to
right.
be a hero to face your fears.
But Father, the challenges I realize always come after the belly of the whale. The challenges come after you conquer your own fear
Yeah.
and after you've gone through a certain kind of respite. And I wouldn't say I discovered something during the respite, but I would say it's a problem. I just realized now that being in the darkness allows me to be a bigger person and gives me that opportunity to be ready to face my ordeals.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I get it correct.
I always believe that people who have been in darkness shine, shine. You become now a cosmic dancer, the term of Joseph Campbell. You are the best person now who can give a testimony, birth, death, and rebirth because you've been there.
Mm,
You've
right.
been there. You've been initiated. You've been to hell, to the darkest part
Mm,
of your life, the hellish moment of your life. You become now a cosmic dancer. And that's a gift to offer to the world, to people who are still afraid of the dark.
right. Right. Because once you've accepted the darkness, you can go to both worlds. You can play with the light and the dark.
Like
And
Persephone, yeah. She has to be abducted from the normal, ordinary world and become the princess of the dark. And 6 months
right,
in the underworld, lower world,
right,
again, non attachment. And you can just be comfortable. When you have this, you're happy. When you don't have this, you're happy.
right. That's why surrender and faith is crucial. Because if you're not initiated, then you cannot face your monsters and the other challenges, which will allow you to go through that process of birth and rebirth, death and rebirth. Right? But Father, it's actually good that you talk about death and you embrace death, because a lot of us are afraid of death.
That's true.
And you talk about
That's true.
resurrection.
And Joseph Campbell also mentions that every death will always initiate resurrection. The thing is, our culture does not honor that. We are always for everything that's positive, the light, the good things. That's why we see life as either good or bad, light or dark. Why not
Mm,
and instead of or? Light and dark, good and bad instead of or, either or.
mm, mm.
So in the
True,
hero's
because
journey, you see the ordinary world and the special world and the return of the underworld as having special places. They're part of
right,
the whole journey.
right. That's true. That's
No
true.
stage is better than the other stages.
Yes, yes. It's part of the whole.
It's
It's part
part
of
of
the
the
whole
whole.
universe. Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
death, rebirth.
Right. But Father, you know what? I was thinking, if this is a movie or if I'm in that movie, there's a part of me that wants to stay in the special world. And there's a part of me that I was thinking, because the special world is like this world of adventure and all that. And I was thinking, why should that? And you talk about the hero should go back to the ordinary world. Why do I
Uh-huh.
have to go back to the ordinary world? And it's like when there's more magic and mystery and enchantment and more adventure
Yeah.
in the special world.
Remember that Jesus has to be resurrected after staying in that cave for 3 days and nights. Buddha has to return to the world to help people. No, Jonah
Right,
has to be spewed out of the belly from the belly of the whale.
right.
Remember that gospel passage when the disciples of Jesus saw Jesus and the prophets Moses and Elijah, and they said, "We will not go back to our ordinary life. We'll just build houses here, huts for you,
Yeah.
one for you, Moses and Elijah. And Jesus said, no, this is not the real world. We need to go back.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the temptations of the hero to just stay in this great
Beautiful
adventure. You
word.
know?
Right. So you have to bring the elixir back to the people. And what I noticed is when the hero, and this is you said this also, but I noticed when the hero finds himself, then when he goes back, he brings with him the gift to the community. So it's intertwined. The journey of the hero is intertwined with the journey of the community.
Yeah, a hero will always have a community. You cannot have a hero living in the cave or in an island.
Yeah,
A
right.
hero, you are born for the world, for the
Yeah.
community. No man is an
Yeah.
island.
So also that means we're all connected. The individual is connected to the whole, just as the whole is connected to the individual.
Even your monsters, even your darkness, everything is connected in life.
Right. And Father, what is their final reward for the hero?
The final reward of the hero,
Yeah,
well, Joseph Campbell said the reactivation and release life energy. Remember, what prompted you to go through the whole journey is the your experience of the spiritual dryness, wasteland. Now you
right.
are reactivated and are able to release that energy to be able to share with the community.
Right. So the hero eventually finds meaning,
The
right?
gift,
After,
the gift can be your talent to share to the world, to share
right.
with people, to your family, to your friends. But the gift can also mean for Joseph Campbell as finding your place in the universe. Everything
Right.
makes sense. Death, life, happiness, sadness, everything has a place in life. And you just like open your eyes to that reality.
Right. I love that when you say everything has a place. Even death has a place. So darkness has a place. Good and bad, it has a place. Because we tend to demonize one part. Like we tend to demonize death or
Again,
darkness.
because of this mentality, either or, black or
Right.
white, instead of black
Yeah.
and white.
Yeah. Father, I'll show them the hero's journey. So they have an understanding of what it looks like. I mean, what do you call this? This is something I'm sorry. I have to remove this overlay. There. Ayan. I'm not sure if you can find it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best one that I can see. Okay. I like it because it's so simple. So when you look at it, Father, it's the normal world and even the unknown world is part of the same world. And this is what Father is saying, that it's actually a cycle. And you move through it. You start from the normal world, and then you go through the world of unknown. And then you face your trials and failures, you meet your helpers, there's growth, you experience death and rebirth, there's revelation, you change, there's atonement, you get your gift, and then you return back to the world. But what I noticed with this, when I was looking at it and studying it further, I love that it shows life as a journey. That you have to go through the trials and challenges if you are to grow. Because sometimes, ako personally, I just want life to be happy. Like I told you before, I just want life to be light. But when I see it as this, then I realize that it's okay to go through a journey. It's okay to experience trials and failures. It's okay to experience death and rebirth. Because that's when I change. That's when I grow. That's when I get my gift.
Yeah.
And I was,
The whole hero's journey was can be found in Joseph Campbell's book, no, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And he published this in 1949 when there was so much secularism in the States, when people
Yes.
uh, didn't believe of religion anymore. So Joseph Campbell was reading mythology and was trying to look for other ways, other means of reaching to people who have been like lost and feeling depressed, were experiencing spiritual darkness, and he used mythology for that to reach out to
Yes.
them.
And Father, a lot of artists and a lot of writers and even the ones who made movies base a lot of their stories now from that book, Hero with a Thousand Faces. And when I was
Star
thinking,
Wars,
Star Wars,
for
yeah,
example, George Lucas.
yes, yes. But also, I was thinking if the moment I accepted in my life the hero's journey, what I realized is I also accepted the pain, the trials, the darkness. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, if people can just understand this, then they'll make sense of what's happening. That it doesn't have to be all light.
No,
Mm. It's part of the
darkness and
journey.
light. Yeah,
Yeah. And also, Father, now I understand. Because last time I was so rigid. I was telling you, I don't like darkness. I don't like darkness. But if you don't have darkness, then you don't have trials, then you don't have obstacles, then there's no journey if it's just light, right?
you will never discover your soul. That's why,
Mhm.
again, this is a line that I always repeat. Every fairy tale will always have a contravida. Why should the good mother die? And we are just told, and the father married a wicked woman, and this wicked woman will always torture the heroine. Why is that?
Mm,
In all
yes,
mythologies and fairy tales, folk tales in the world, the good mother has to die.
yes,
Why should there be wicked stepmothers in fairy tales? Wicked stepsisters? Because they push you out of the house, of your comfort zone, and discover who
yes.
you are.
When I first heard
You,
that,
mhm.
when I first
Okay,
heard that from you, then I realized that the difficult people in my life are actually good people in my life. Like before, I was like, I detest them. I mean, to be so honest, like I don't like them. I don't want to be near them. But when I heard you say that, and then I realized, oh my gosh, they're important for my growth.
you don't have a story if you don't have a contrabina.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Wala
true.
yung
That's true.
probinsyano.
Totoo. Kung wala po, kung wala siyang mga kaaway. So it's important for the
Every,
hero.
yeah, everybody, everything has a place in this sacred universe. Even the darkness, even your contravidas.
Oh, that's so beautiful. But for the Hake, how was your own hero's journey?
Oh, many times I've experienced this in my life. To be able to understand the hero's journey, you need to experience that. You need to
Mm,
experience that. For example, my problems with my superiors when I started doing this work, when I started changing the whole system of retreats and recollections that we need only to study the Bible, read the Bible, meditate on the Bible. When I was introducing uh, dancing as a spiritual was this practice or art making. Wow! But again, the universe will, they will always, no, the universe will always send you people who will comfort you.
yes,
At that time, when I started doing this expressive arts ministry, nobody would get me as a speaker. I was like depressed in a way. 2008, like, am I in the right track? Because when people call at the seminary and said, no, we need a priest who can give a workshop on Bible, on the Bible, on church teachings, I said, that cannot be me because I'm doing play therapy. What's that play? Ano ba yan?
yes,
Recollection? Play? So, yeah, like 9 months. walang kumukuha sa akin. Pero ngayon, ako na yung daming schedule na.
Yeah. So
Yes, after
initially,
that.
they don't
But I just
accept
have
it
to
right
trust.
away.
What held me, what kept me going was listening to this inner longing that you're on the right track. You're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Oh, that's
Dancing
so
as a retreat, like 3 days,
right.
5 days dancing. So isa sa mga pinaka-controversial na retreat ko sa mga seminarians, no, 1 week, and my authorities really questioned that. 1 week of dancing, ni minsan hindi kayo nagbabasa ng Biblia? Hindi. Because God also is in the dance. Pero
Yeah.
my former bishop really was so angry. You are changing everything that the church has held for many years.
Wow.
God
Wow.
cannot be reserved in the Bible, in the pages of that book. God is an
Right.
experience of beauty. God is an
Mm.
experience of color, of movement.
So
Okay?
even you, Father, no, you really experienced being challenged as
Yeah.
well.
But at that
Yeah.
time I was sad. Wow.
Yeah.
Kasi at that time, ilan lang yung naka-appreciate sa trabaho ko. But
Mm.
my teachers in European graduate school really emailed me. They would call me almost every week. Oh, kumusta ka na? Kalma lang, kalma lang. And at that time, I
Wow.
was dreaming of of that place in Switzerland where I was initiated, and when I found this vocation,
Wow.
this calling.
And
But yeah,
Father, what
first,
happened to you when you were in that space of being sad and when you're being challenged, when people are not accepting? So that's your darkness, right?
before I was like reactionary, but now I can
Mm.
just smile and say, okay, everything has a place in this sacred universe. Not all people will like my style of doing
Mm.
retreat, my unique way of seeing the world. It's not for all. It's not
But you
for
know, your
everybody.
participants really like it. I can vividly remember one sharing when she said, "You know what? If not for you, Father, if not for you, I would be dead at this time." She was saying that she's supposed to jump off somewhere because she had difficulty honoring the darkness, and she was saying, "I'm so glad that you taught me to dance, taught me to honor the darkness, because otherwise she would, yeah, do something personal." This is
Honoring instead of
wow.
fight, honoring instead of fighting, eliminating. Life is not about fighting. It's about
Right,
being initiated by her deep mysteries.
right, right. Life is about being initiated. And Father, um, what is destiny?
Oh, destiny is the secret. It's the most sacred and secret meaning of why you are here,
Most sacred and secret meaning of why
of
I
why
am
you
here.
are here for me. That's the story of your soul, why you are here, why you
And
are
how
born.
because of my destiny. But if
Your
there's a
destiny,
destiny, do I still have a will?
yes. Like in the hero's journey, you can say no to life. You can say
Right.
no to your destiny.
Mm.
That's why for
That's
Joseph
why
Campbell, yeah,
there's a calling. Because your destiny is calling you, right?
life is calling you.
And life is calling
Life is calling you
you.
to stand
Right.
out, to stand apart from the community and be unique and offer that gift to the world. But a lot of people don't have the courage to do that.
Because father, it takes a lot. Like you have to, in a way, you have to be separated. That's a big thing. And you have to fight, yun nga, society and all that. But I like it what you said. What will you choose? Will you choose a small life or will you choose to enter this life of mystery and enchantment? Yeah.
Destiny is also connected to who you are, your authentic self, to who you really are.
That's destiny. And how will you know if you find how will you know if you find your soulfulness? How will you know if you find your soul? Because the journey is about finding who I am. So
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
about finding my soul, right?
Again, in my session, I always say this: by by seeing life and living life as a paradox. Again, becoming that cosmic dancer, a traveler, death, life, and practicing non-attachment instead of becoming rigid and closed, and see life as fighting, fighting, fighting. And that's your authenticity, your originality, your sacred calling.
Yeah. So if
You
you
all,
become a sacred dancer, I saw in the book that it's about being material and the same time divine. When you and then they're saying it's like being Buddha, he's human but divine, being like Christ, both human and divine. But
we
also
all are.
like it's yeah, also about accepting both the light and the dark. You're saying good and bad. So when you can become a cosmic dancer and when you can appreciate the polarities in the world and accept the polarities in the world. Would that be called soulfulness?
Yes, yes. Seeing life as a
Mm,
paradox. When you relax and stop fighting
wow.
and just
It's a,
initiated by the mysteries of life.
yeah. Relax and stop fighting. Yeah, that's sweet. Because sometimes we fight. We
We
fight what's
always fight.
happening.
The ego fights, tries to eliminate,
Yeah.
always tries to
Yeah.
eliminate
Like it's only just one or the other. But you can have both. You can have both light and darkness.
light
And
and dark,
it's yeah.
death and rebirth, death and rebirth.
Yeah. Wow. It's so beautiful. But Father, you just finished the Hero's Journey workshop. Now you have a new workshop. It's called the Heroine's Journey, and you started this week. How is it different, Heroine's Journey, from the Hero's Journey?
Um, well, the only difference I see is that we are now applying the stages of the hero's journey of Joseph Campbell in a woman's search of her soulfulness, in a woman's search of her identity. We all know that our society is androcentric. It sees the world from the perspective of male, strength, competition, dependability through positions, prestige, financial gain. But woman as a mystery, for Joseph Campbell, is such a treasure. Such a treasure.
He
We
wrote a
don't
book
have,
on goddesses, no, Father,
yes,
Joseph
yeah,
Campbell.
and on goddesses.
And I agree
Which is
what
why,
yeah, I agree with what you say that sometimes the world we live in right now is patriarchal, but they're saying we're moving towards a divine feminine. I actually don't understand that yet. The divine.
we are moving to the divine feminine. As I've
Yeah.
said yesterday, the divine feminine is about your passion, your creativity, your authenticity. In contrast to
Yeah.
the solar consciousness, the male consciousness of strength, of competition, of fighting, of intellectualizing, of rationalizing things.
So it's basically the right brain or the gentle side
Yeah,
and creativity. Oh,
I
that's a
can allow that.
divine
I can allow that. Which
feminine.
is why the last stage of the initiation stage is the meeting of the goddess, of the great mother. When the hero is initiated after all his fights, fighting his dragons, his demons, the monsters, there is a tendency that he can be rigid and sees life as, well, a battle. No, but
Right.
with the meeting of the goddess, the hero is initiated by love, by softness, by by a sacred wounding.
Mm, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Father, I invite them to join your Facebook page because I understand that people usually you actually post your um your events there. So I'll share with you Father's page. This is Dancing Imagination. Hope you can see it there. So Father, you can just join this group, right? And
Yes,
you'll post updates.
yes.
Can you please invite them, Father, to dancing the heroine's journey?
Okay, every MWF 3 times a week, 8:45 in the evening, Philippine time.
Mm-mm. And how long is this going to be, Father?
1 month, 4 weeks.
1 whole month. And then
We just
there's a
started
break.
yesterday. Yeah, we just started yesterday,
Yeah.
and there's a break of 2 weeks after.
Yeah. Ang galing. I love the hero's journey, and I'm sure the hero's journey is a beautiful, beautiful journey as well. I further show them also here in the community. We also have free programs. This is something that we have for this week. So it's how to manage stress. You can join that. That's a free event. But also, if you join our page, um, we're also give you updates for Father Loreto's dancing the heroine's journey because that's every MWF and that's 2 hours and you'll dance. If you're not comfortable with dancing, you can turn off your video. I haven't really turned on my video yet when I'm dancing, but I'm dancing. Yeah.
Okay lang.
Like you said, no, Father. Sometimes you just have to allow. But what I love with the dancing, Father. Actually, I don't question now. Remember, before I would ask people, I would ask, why are they all dancing? Why are they not shy to dance? Because that's really my issue. Why am I dancing in front of everybody else? And then what I realized there is, I'm not dancing for anybody else. I'm actually dancing for myself. This is my expression. And so now I'm okay with dance.
Well, actually, when we talk of hero's journey, kasama mo yung katawan mo.
Mm.
All journey, the journey of the hero will always include your body. But
Yeah,
again, in our session, I always said, but there's so much shame, guilt, and fear when we think of our bodies.
true. Father, I spoke with Rina, who's doing her PhD on dance. I also spoke to Ubay Baylan. And they're saying that it's the Western culture that they shamed us. They taught us to disconnect from the body. But our olden tradition now, even the shamanism, the babaylan, or the babaylan in particular, they actually believe in the connection of the soul and the body. There's no disconnect. Mhm. So
Want
which
to
is
be
fun.
controversial, but yeah, religion has contributed a lot to making us feel guilty of this body.
Right, right.
When
So what
religion
was you?
says that everything below the neck is sinful,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what you're doing is it's more of somatic movement, no, Father. Dancing imagination is basically mind, body, and spirit, or body and spirit. Oh,
Integration
okay.
of everything.
Right. And so you go back to wholeness. That's why good and bad, body, spirit, ordinary world and special world, it's all the same. So it's about oneness, integration.
Integration. Integration.
Right. That's why you believe in all religion. That's why you don't. Kasi I find that surprising for a Catholic priest to be very open to all religion.
As I've said, I see religions not as one way straight to the truth, but
Right.
creative intersections of wow, this love energy.
Right.
That's why I
Now I
read everything.
understand. Now I understand where you're coming
Again, I'll be
from.
very controversial by saying this, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's why I
yeah,
read Sufism,
You
Buddhism,
love,
Taoism,
yeah, you
yes.
love Rumi,
I love
and you love
Rumi.
the Japanese poets as
Uh-huh.
well.
I went to Narupa University and honor, no, because I that was my first dream of studying in Narupa. Narupa University, the first Buddhist university in the States. I was
Wow.
accepted, and then my bishop said, "No, we don't have money to finance your school in the States." But then, yeah, I said one day I'm going to Narupa University and honor it. So I went there and honor an origami butterfly just outside
Oh,
the
that's
building of the school. I said, wow.
ang galing. And Joseph Campbell says that there's a truth. Different sages, but one truth.
That's the basis of the whole hero's journey. For 5 years, he was reading all the mythologies of the world. And then after 5 years, he said, wow, there's a commonality in all the different religions and cultures and mythologies of the world. And that's the hero's journey. Christ
Yeah,
has to be separated from his family. Buddha has to leave his palace.
true, true. Ang galing. I love it. I love that message of integration. Many sages, one truth. And
Yeah,
everybody
that's
carries that truth. That's
religions for me are not one-way streets to the truth, but creative intersections.
very,
Sometime in our life we meet and then wow, show me your soulfulness, your beauty.
very great. Oh, that's so
If we are open to be initiated by the beauties of others, the soulfulness of others. But if we
very,
see life as fighting, we become close and rigid. We'll never be initiated.
right. Isis talks about experiencing beauty. Father, can you please lead us into an ending prayer, ending poetry, or ending story, whatever you wanna, however
Okay.
you wanna close it? Like,
Just,
as you said, everything
okay.
is a prayer.
Just a poem I've read last night. It says, what in your life is calling you when all the noise is silenced, the meetings adjourned, the lists laid aside, and the wild Irish blooms by itself in the dark forest? What still pulls you on your soul? In the silence between your heartbeats hides a summons. Do you hear it? Name it if you must, or leave it forever nameless. But why pretend it is not there?
Thank you. I think you just answered my last question because I was going to ask you, can you please say something to those who don't wanna answer the call? But yeah, you answered it. You answered it. What in your life is calling you? That's beautiful. Who wrote that, Father?
Hmm?
Who wrote that poetry?
No, it's in the page of the Joseph Campbell Foundation.
Oh,
Probably one of the members. It's a
yeah.
beautiful
So it's
poem.
so beautiful. It's so
And it says, in
beautiful.
the silence of your heartbeats, there's a call, a longing
Mhm.
of the soul. You can either name it or just leave it nameless, but don't pretend that it's not there. It's there, calling you
It's there.
every day, calling you every
Yeah,
day.
that's true.
So you ask
But
me of the role of the will. Everything
yes,
is choice. You have to decide between a small life or a magical life.
that's true. That's a beautiful way to end this
Which
interview.
which is why Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. And in following your bliss, you have to live the community, which is what the
Right.
whole hero's journey is about. Leaving the community and going back as a soulful person, ready to offer yourself, ready to offer your gift to the world.
That's why you go back to the Philippines, no? I was asking that guy, well, he's in Peru already, but he keeps on serving Filipinos, and he keep on going back to the Philippines because you bring back what you gain.
Okay lang, may manikaw chorizo.
I don't know. Now I
Wala
understand.
sis. No, no,
It's
joke.
so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But Father, final words for everybody watching and everybody listening.
Siguro just another line from Joseph Campbell. He said, the privilege of a lifetime is being who you are.
Mm.
The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. By
Wow.
Joseph Campbell. Stop following people. Stop following what's it, depending your life on others. Live your life. And to live your life, you have to know what is calling you. What is
Yeah.
calling you? When all your
Wow.
friends have gone home, when you are now alone in your room, what is calling you? Follow that.
So, wow, that's a thought to think about this week. Or we'll leave you with that. What is calling you? Thank you so much, Father, for doing
Salamat.
this interview again. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye for now. See you.